Are you ready for the final phase of turning items that I've collected on my morning walks into art quilts? Well, keep watching and I'll show you how. Hi, I'm Angie. I'm a mixed media textile artist, and today is the final video in the series of turning items that I've collected on my morning walks into art quilts. So in today's video, we're going to take our printed fabric, we're going to layer it with a stabilizer in the middle and felt on the back and do some stitching to finish it off. Now, I don't make traditional quilts, I make art quilts, so I typically don't use batting. And in this case, I decided I wanted my pieces to be very firm. So I'm using a firm stabilizer in place of batting, and it's called Peltex. For the backing, I like to use felt. So the whole process is I'm going to take and use a fusible web, which is basically a sheet of glue to laminate everything together. So I start out by applying fusible web to the printed fabric, to the back side of the printed fabric, and then I apply a fusible web to one side of the felt. Now the stabilizer, since it's sandwiched in between, it needs fusible web on both sides. Before applying the fusible web, you want to make sure your fabric has been pressed and it's nice and smooth and no wrinkles. You don't necessarily have to press the felt unless it has very strong creases in it. So apply the fusible web according to the instructions from your product. So I'm using a lightweight fusible web. You can use any product that you're accustomed to using. You can try Wonder Under, Misty Fuse, or Steamacine, or whatever you're used to using. Like I said, apply it to one side of the back side of your printed fabric, to one side of the felt, and both sides of the stabilizer. When working with the fusible web, you need to protect your table. So I like to use these nonstick Teflon sheets to protect my table and to protect my fabric that I'm applying the fusible web and to protect my iron. So I take and fuse the printed fabric to one side of the stabilizer and fuse the felt to the second side of the stabilizer. And you want to make sure everything is fused down nice and good. So take your time fusing it all down. Make sure your iron is set at the correct temperature and make sure you check it after you fused it and go back and refuse if necessary. So now that the backing is all secured, it's time to add some stitching. So I'm going to do some machine stitching, and I wanted to do some hand stitching, but I found that stitching through that stabilizer by hand was not going to work. So I end up not applying the hand stitching like I wanted. For two pieces, I just did straight machine stitching, and for the other two pieces, I did some wavy line machine stitching. Just some really simple stitching because I didn't want to take away from the dyed fabric or the details that I printed on there. But the stitching is just enough to add some dimension and detail, making the printed pattern stand out even more. And here is the finished series. Each of these little art quotes capture a piece of my natural world around me, and it's all brought together with dyeing, printing, and stitching. Now, every step of this process, it tells a little story, from gathering the items in nature to converting them into a form that I can screen print on fabric and finishing off with the stitching, which adds some extra detail and dimension. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little series. And this is a different type of video for me. I've never really done a full series like this. I'd really like to know if this is a format that you like. Is this something you want to see more on the channel? Is that a yay or is that a nay? Let me know down in the comments. And I'd like to know why you like it or why you don't like it. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope you'll go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you don't miss any new videos I upload. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. I hope to see you back here in the next video, but until then, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye-bye now.